Good evening. Today we are making a vegetable chicken casserole dish. Honestly, this is when I'm cleaning out my vegetable drawer in the refrigerator and I want to just use a bunch of things that I have. This is high in protein, there's lots of vegetables, and you can make this one gluten-free if you'd like. So first off, I have 2 cups of grains. I have mixed grains in here. I honestly didn't have enough to do 2 cups of any whole type of grain. So I have long grain white rice, I have quinoa, and then I have a wild rice mix in there, and it's about 2 cups total. I've got broccoli, I've got a red pepper today. Usually I'll use the mixed peppers, the little small ones in red and orange and yellow, but this is what I've got today. I've got a tomato, cilantro, a couple jalapenos, some shredded cheese. I have talked about this in prior videos. This is the rotisserie chicken pack from Costco. So they take the leftover chickens in the evening that don't sell during the day, and they pick off the meat and they vacuum seal them. This is about 2 chickens worth. And it's 12 bucks at Costco, and we're only going to use half of it today. I can make soups and casseroles and all sorts of things with this. I do my chicken enchiladas with this, and it's so quick because it's already pulled off the bone, it's cooked. You just have to chop it up and you're good. So we'll use that as our protein. I have some reduced fat cream cheese, and then this is riced cauliflower. This is also in the Costco pack. They just changed the brand that they buy, and it's in pre-packaged bags, which I love. It's so much easier. But if you don't have the riced cauliflower, just take a head of cauliflower and you're going to chop it up real small. We're going to use about 1/2 to 3/4 of a jar of salsa. And then if you're trying to make this gluten-free, you'll want to skip this, but on the top we're going to sprinkle some breadcrumbs. So those are the ingredients. We're going to get this going and show you how to put it together. Okay, we've got everything chopped up. This is so easy, you guys. Even if you have never made a dinner casserole before, so I'm talking to some of my students, if you have never made something on your own, this is totally something that you can do. So you just chop up vegetables, you chop up a little protein. So in this case, I put some chicken in. If you wanted to make this a vegetarian dish, you could, and just remove the chicken and have it be a rice and vegetable dish. So what I've got here, this was that Costco chicken, and I told you we only used a 1/2 of the pack, and look how much chicken that is. That's like 3 or 4 chicken breasts worth. If you're cooking on a smaller scale, you just cut everything down that I have here. Maybe use 1 or 2 chicken breasts if you're just cooking for yourself and another person. So we've got the chicken breasts. This is the cream cheese, and I softened it in the microwave just a bit. So like 25 seconds in the microwave in a bowl. Don't do it in the foil pouch that it comes in. That won't be good. We've got some diced peppers. I have to tell you, my 16-year-old boys cut all this up. So this is very doable for you guys. They don't want to be on camera, but they did do all my prep work for me. We've got 2 florets of broccoli, so 2 of the small heads of broccoli, all chopped up into tiny little pieces. This is 2 jalapenos diced. Remember, with jalapenos, the heat is in the membrane, which is the side of the pepper, and not necessarily in the seeds. And when you go to rinse that out, be careful that you don't breathe in that steam that's coming up that has some of those jalapeno oils, or you could be coughing for a few minutes. This is the riced cauliflower. So remember, if you don't have riced cauliflower, just take a head of cauliflower and do what we did with the broccoli. We just chopped it up in real small pieces. We pour that in there. I've got some fresh tomato. If you don't like tomato, don't put tomato in it. And then the rice that we mixed up. This was that mixed grain rice. Okay, here's the trick with rice is you double the water. So if we did 2 cups of grain, we put 4 cups of water. In this case, because we had some mixed grains in there, some quinoa that takes a little bit more water, I added about 2.5 cups of water. In this dish, if it comes out a little watery, that's okay because that'll help with this cooking. And to cook rice, 15 minutes is it. And you want to just simmer it for 15 minutes. So get it up to a boil, then set the temperature down to like 3 and let it simmer covered. And just let it sit. Don't do anything to it. And then you just mix all of this up. We'll put the cilantro in a minute. And so that'll help melt that cream cheese. And we mix this up, and then we have to put the salsa in. Now, I said about a 1/2 to 3/4 of a jar. I already have one that started in the fridge, so I'm going to empty this one first. Again, you know, go with the spice level that you like. If you don't like things really spicy, leave the jalapenos out. Or put a mild salsa in. You do need the salsa or some type of other wet ingredient that adds some moisture to this. I'm going to sprinkle in some cilantro. In a former video, I talked about cutting herbs. And the key to that, let me grab another bunch of it. The key to cutting herbs is make sure they're dry. So you want to wash them first. And before you cut a bunch of herbs that are like in a leafy bunch, you want to twist them a bit so they have some height to them. And then you chop them up when they're dry. And then they're light and fluffy like that. If you chop them when they're wet, they bruise. So we're going to put some of that in there. I'm going to mix it up and then put it in the casserole dish and we'll finish it off. All right, we have it all mixed up. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I put the spatula down and I mix it with my hands. Sometimes that is the very best way to do it. Just make sure that you have clean hands and then you just get in there and mix it all up. So we have the salsa. The only thing that I did additionally was I put about 1/2 of that shredded cheese in there to mix it through, and we're ready to put it in the pan. So like I said, I made a big batch of this because I always cook to share. So we're going to have an 11 by 13 pan, which is a little bit bigger than a standard like casserole or brownie pan. So we're gonna have this one, and then I'm gonna have a little to go because, you know, spreading the love through food, giving some away today. So all you do is you pour this in the casserole dish, and it's really pretty, like it's super colorful, and it's got all sorts of great things in it. It's really fresh. This is a good one, like I said, if you're trying to clean out your produce bin and you just have a little bit of everything. Like I said, I didn't have enough rice of one kind to make this casserole. So I just used a little bit of everything. I had quinoa, and sometimes I'll put brown rice in it or white rice, whatever I've got. And so we have this. Okay. If you are trying for a gluten-free dish, you would stop here. You would sprinkle some cheese on top. You're going to put a piece of foil on the top, and then you're going to put it in an oven. I don't know, about 350, 365, somewhere in there. And really, you're not having to really worry about cooking anything to a safe cooking temperature because everything in here is already cooked. Because even before this, you would already pre-cook chicken breasts if you were just using chicken breasts. So everything in here is cooked. The rice is cooked. The vegetables just need to be heated up. If you want the vegetables to be softer, you don't want them to have a crunch, you can either cook it longer or you can parboil them, meaning you get the water in the pan to boil, you drop the cauliflower and the broccoli, essentially, maybe the peppers too. You drop it in the water for 1 or 2 minutes, and then you strain it and you put it in, so it just starts the cooking process for you. But we like to just sprinkle the top with just a little bit of seasoned breadcrumbs. I like the Italian seasoning ones. They just add a good amount of mix to those. Sprinkle it with some cheese, and you are good to go. So put it in the oven between 350, 365, depending on how your oven is. And you know, a half hour, maybe 40 minutes if it's a real big casserole, and you can eat off this for a long time. This is a heavy dish. There's a lot of food there, but it's kind of a one dish meal. So we will put this in the oven and show you what it looks like when we take it out. So this is what we have fresh out of the oven. It is so good. It's so colorful and there's so many vegetables in it, and it's a real crowd pleaser. Everybody in our house loves it. This is a favorite that I like to prepare in advance. It freezes really well, so you could put this in the freezer and take it out on a night that you know you're going to be busy. This is also one that I love to make for other people. When someone has a baby or you're making meals for other people in a meal train, you can only handle so many lasagnas, and lasagnas are great. But sometimes something other than pasta is really welcomed. So this is a really good one that I make for new moms and their families. So I put a little dollop of sour cream if you like, maybe sprinkle a little fresh cilantro on the top, and call it good. Give it a try. I know you will love it.